So a very good morning to everyone. I hope I'm audible as well as visible. Please tell me in the comment section. And meanwhile, please turn on your cameras, everyone. Please turn on your cameras, everyone. And just tell me what was the last topic that we have discussed in the class. Thank you. Morning, everyone. Yeah, what was the last topic that we have discussed? Problems of Northeast. So under the problems, okay, Northeast insurgency we have started. So we have just started, or we have just completed some portion of it. Started issues with Northeast, internal and external issues in Northeast have been discussed. Fine. Okay. Now I think we are supposed to start off with reasons for Northeast insurgency. Reasons for Northeast insurgency. Now, when we talk about the reasons for Northeast insurgency, we will be broadly dividing it into four categories. First is historical reason, second is geographical reason, third is cultural reason, and then we'll talk about the political reasons. So one by one we'll have a look over it. First is historical reasons. Historical reasons. See, when we talk about the historical reasons, the very first historical reason is the British policy. If we talk about this British policy, the Britishers have followed the twofold policy. First was policy of integration, and policy of isolation. Policy of isolation. When we talk about this policy of integration, so this policy of integration, okay, the policy of integration, they have followed for rest of India, where they used to annex the state and they used to make those states a part of the British Empire, either directly or indirectly via policies like policy of subsidiary alliance, doctrine of lapse, etc., that you people might have heard in case of history. The point is they used to annex the state and they used to integrate it within India, British India rather. There was another policy, that was the policy of isolation, that was specifically meant for Northeast. Means, if you remember in the last class, I have told you that as regards Northeast is concerned, so in Northeast, they said that we will be granting the autonomy to the Northeast in order to protect their culture from any kind of cultural invasion on part of the other culture. We will be giving them the inner line permit. Inner line permit means what? The outsiders won't be permitted, and if outsiders are permitted, in that case scenario, they'll have to seek the permissions from the corresponding authorities. This was the declared agenda on part of the British under the policy of isolation. What was the real agenda? The real agenda was that they wanted that Northeast should be separated from rest of India's national freedom struggle. Northeast should not be a part of the national freedom struggle. When they said that Northeast shouldn't be a part of national freedom struggle, that it should be segregated. And that's why you will see that there has not been much of the participation on part of the Northeast as regards the national freedom struggle was concerned. This historical reason eventually resulted in the fact that even after the independence, the Northeast has failed to integrate. The Northeast has failed to integrate into the mainland India. So what we can see is perhaps the policy on part of the Britishers that has eventually resulted in that Northeast not being integrated to India. Northeast not being integrated to India even after independence. Second, delay in statehood. delay in statehood. Delay in statehood or state reorganization. Now, at the time of independence, we only had one state and major state, and that was Assam. Only one major state was there, and that was Assam. But the tribes in the northeast have constantly been demanding the autonomy in terms of new states. That yes, we also want new states. And government of India has failed to satisfy their aspirations. Government of India has failed to satisfy their aspirations, as there was a delay in, or you can say it was more of a fallacy in our state reorganization as well as granting them the statehood, that has eventually erupted the insurgency in the regions. Like take the example of Nagaland. Nagaland was given the statehood in 1963, and that too after Naga insurgency. Or I can say it is not the government of India which gave, rather it was something which was snatched by the Naga rebels. It was rather snatched by the Naga rebels. Apart from that, this fact is another compounded by another fact, and that is the way of reorganization. The way of reorganization, and this way of reorganization has always been a question. Ways of reorganization, why? You see, in 1960s, Assamese was given the official recognition. Assamese was considered as an official language, or you can say Assamese got the official recognition. And when the Assamese got the official recognition, it was more of a matter of discontentment for other tribes, because you see, Northeast is a very rich region as regards the tribal diversities are concerned. Why? 400 plus type of tribes are residing over there, and you see, after every 2 kilometers there is a cultural change that you can notice over there. The culture changes. Sometimes village after village you will see the diversification of the culture over there. And in such a diversified region, you are trying to bring them under one umbrella language, and that is Assamese. Do you find feasibility in it? No. Why? I'll give you one example. You see, when India has a recent example, I'll give you 2-3 years back, when we had a very educated education minister, HRD minister, the lady one, and she has issued a circular, and the circular was regarding celebration of Hindi as well as Sanskrit weeks into the CBSE schools of Tamil Nadu. That means, what are you trying to show? That you are just the majority viewpoint you are trying to depict. You are simply imposing Hindi as well as Sanskrit onto a region which is not good at it, which is not having proficiency in the language. So you can feel the very same thing when Assamese was one such language that was imposed on those people. So they were not happy with the state reorganization. They were not happy with the state reorganization either. Then the third is claims by the hostile elements, or you can say claims and involvement. Claims as well as involvement by the hostile element. By the hostile elements. Claims as well as what you can see, the involvement on part of the hostile elements means, you see, we will talk about two major stakeholders in the process. One is China. Of course, another is Pakistan. What has been the role of Pakistan? Pakistan has played a very important role as regards the insurgency movement of Northeast is concerned, specifically before 1971. You see, in 1971, the grandson was born, Bangladesh, and this birth of grandson was more of an auspicious occasion for us, because it has sorted to a greater extent as regards our internal security issues related to Northeast was concerned. Before 1971, Bangladesh used to be Eastern Pakistan, and that erstwhile Eastern Pakistan was used to seed insurgency. How? They used to give them monetary assistance. They used to give them the monetary assistance. Along with the monetary assistance, what you will see, they were giving them the monetary assistance, infiltration trainings. They are master at it, infiltration. They were supplying them the weapons, sabotage training, etc. Same things China was also doing. Very same thing China was also doing along with Pakistan. But after 1971, this stopped. To a greater extent, it stopped. Now, one more thing that you should see is that as regards China is concerned, China officially do not recognize Arunachal Pradesh as a part of India. They say that Arunachal is the one which is a part of South Tibet. In fact, once what has happened, China has issued the passport in which the diplomatic passports in which Arunachal was not shown as a part of India. Arunachal was not even shown as a part of India. They do not recognize the sanctity of McMahon Line. They do not recognize the sanctity of McMahon Line. Along with that, as regards Sikkim is concerned, Sikkim became the protectorate of the British Empire in 1890. Later on, it was made a state of India as per 36th Constitutional Amendment Act. It was also included in India. Now it is an integral component of India, enjoying a lot of autonomy and a number of internal affairs because it was a kingdom earlier. Now the point is that Sikkim is also part of India. Arunachal is also part of India, but China is the one which officially does not recognize it. So when it comes to this Doklam, so if this is Sikkim, this is Doklam, and China has almost made the roads up to here. So it's a threat onto the Sikkim. Along with the chicken neck, it is also a threat onto the Sikkim. It is also a threat onto the Sikkim. Fine. So these are the claims as well as involvement on part of the hostile elements. Now, the next set of reasons are geographical reasons. If we talk about these geographical reasons, the first issue that we'll talk about is the international borders. International borders, or within that we can discuss one subtopic within that domain, and that is Golden Triangle, Golden Triangle and resemblance to Golden Crescent. Very important. Resemblance to Golden Crescent. Resemblance to Golden Crescent. I'll take a separate slide for it. You see, if we talk about the Golden Triangle, this is Golden Triangle. Here we are here on this part we are having Mizoram. Here we are having Myanmar. Here we are having Thailand. Here we are having Laos. Golden Triangle. What's so unique about this Golden Triangle? This Golden Triangle is famous for weapons production. And drugs sale. Please remember these words, sale as well as production. Weapons production and drug sale. Okay, here this is India. Okay, India. Here we are having Golden Crescent. Golden Crescent. If we talk about Golden Crescent, here it is Pakistan, Afghanistan, Iran. This is also a very disturbed area. This Golden Crescent is famous for what? It is famous for drugs production, and weapons sale. What is the inference that we can draw? What is the inference that we can draw? See, here weapons are produced, here weapons are sold, here drugs are produced, here drugs are sold. Can you see this? Now, what is the analogy that we can draw? See, don't you see that there could be a kind of barter system which can be established over here? But you give us weapon, we will give you drugs. You give us drugs, we will give you weapon. As simple as that. So weapons are produced over here and the weapons are used over here. Highly disturbed area, Taliban, Afghanistan, Pakistan. So the point is here here the weapons are used, but drugs are produced. So the drugs are produced which will be used for the exchange of weapons. There would be a barter system. Here is India. So it is not only the security of Northeast, but rather it is more of a matter of internal security of entire India to a greater extent. So, and it is perhaps because of the geography. Also, you see, the borders are very porous. The borders are very porous as regards this Golden Triangle region or the Northeast is concerned because of the difficult terrain. Because of the difficult terrain over there. I hope you understand this part. Now, along with that, there is another issue, and that is the landlocked nature of Northeast. Landlocked nature of Northeast. Landlocked nature increases what? Interdependence, or you can say interstate dependence on each other. As I've already told you, you cannot enter Northeast without going through Assam, and you cannot come out of Northeast without coming through Assam. Because of this landlocked nature, along with that, what you will find that the transport medium is specifically roads. First of all, they are not developed. Roads, because you see, the roads in Kohima was built last year. More than 70 years of independence, and now we are building the roads in Kohima. That means, first of all, the road infrastructure is the one which is not at all developed. And second, there is the interstate dependence, and that too there is a matter of struggle between the state. Struggles between the state, because most of the states are tribal states, having the dominancy of the tribals. So that you might have heard of the border disputes within the northeastern state, which has eventually resulted in the killings of several police personnel over there. There is a set of what struggle, eventually contributing to economic blockade. Because you see, economy cannot flourish where roads are the only modes of transport, and that too they are also not developed and having a very high level of interdependency also. Now, along with that, we have seen this issue of chicken neck. Once more, I'll just take few seconds for it. If we talk about this chicken neck, so I have said that this is our chicken neck, this is Sikkim somewhere, and this is Doklam. China is continuously eyeing on to chicken neck to have a control over it. It's a very narrow stretch. We'll end up losing the contact with the Northeast. Because of that only, you see that government of India is going to build a number of highway projects, like one is passing through a place called Akura in Bangladesh, so that we can connect West Bengal to the Northeast via Bangladesh. Another is Kaladan. multimodal project. Kaladan multimodal project. If we talk about the Kaladan multimodal project, so you might have seen in your international relations that it will come first from sea, then it will go to river, then there would be a stretch of 100 kilometers of road finally connecting to Aizawl. So what it is, in case in any of the unfortunate situation we end up losing the contact, or you can say control over this chicken neck, at least we'll have some alternative routes to go to northeast. So this is another reason. You see, complex geography of northeast is also responsible. Complex geography. If we talk about the complex geography of northeast, it is having floods, it is having rains, terrains are very difficult. The rains eventually contribute to a number of diseases which eventually might turn into epidemics. You can say difficult terrain is contributing to agricultural difficulties, and because of these agricultural difficulties, it has resulted in the insurgency movement at Mizoram once. Due to what? Due to this food insecurity, agricultural failures in the Mizoram. Now, I'll just give you an example. I was talking about this disease and epidemics. So in the northern Bengal part, when your BSF is the one which is actually patrolling. So when BSF patrols are there, so they are having a very special set of nets, which they are using to cover the face. And this net is specifically to protect them from a special kind of mosquito. If that mosquito is going to bite, you will end up losing your life within your 24 hours. Within 24 hours, you will be losing your life. Okay, because you see, you can very well imagine what could be the medical infrastructure as regards the paramilitary forces or the deployment of the paramilitary forces, or at such places it is concerned. So now the point is, this is complex geography is something which is also adding to the situation over there. Now, then there are issue of cross-border terrorism because of the porous border, organized crime, etc. Because of the difficult geography of north. Next is cultural reason, very important. Cultural reason. If we talk about the cultural reason, there is a word that you people might be hearing in the news these days, and that is called cultural isolation. Cultural isolation. What is cultural isolation? The cultural isolation is that the people from the northeast believe, just lend me a second please, sorry for the inconvenience caused. Now the issue is, if we talk about this cultural isolation part, so the people of the northeast believe that they are suffering from cultural isolation. Means what? That they are now not being considered as a part of the mainstream culture of India. They are not considered as a part of the mainstream culture of India. But when it comes to mainstream culture of India, what do I mean by that? You see, it has been said that most of the Indians are either belonging to this Aryan race or they are belonging to the Dravidian race. They are either belonging to the Aryan race or they are belonging to the Dravidian race. But when it comes to the people of Northeast, they are often being characterized for their Mongoloid origin or the Mongol identity because of the features. They are often being criticized for their features, and their identity is something which is often been associated with the Southeast Asian identity. Southeast Asian identity, there are specific terms which are used, and the terms like Chinki, especially when it comes to the north part of India. specifically when it comes to the northern part of India. And it's a very derogatory word. Calling Chinky is a crime. Calling Chinky someone is a crime. Okay, now the point is that they are often being recognized for their South Asian identity. They are being called Chinky. They are being passed with the derogatory remarks. I'll just give you an example. See, in like what you can say in this part, like the Delhi. So in Delhi, what you will see that is specifically this there is an area called Vijayanagar, which is near this New Delhi north campus of the Delhi University. Right? So there was a senior research fellow. Someone has spitted on that girl. Someone has spitted on that girl in public, and he said that you people are the one who are responsible for spreading COVID in country. And now you want the people of Northeast should integrate into the mainland India. Now you want the people of the Northeast should integrate into the mainland India, and after you are passing them with such derogatory remarks. So they feel that they are having the cultural isolation. They are suffering from cultural isolation. They are not being considered as a part of the mainstream culture of India. Now you see, they are having different languages. These people are having different languages, but the languages are not officially recognized to a greater extent. They are not officially recognized to the greater extent. They said that they believe that their languages are the one which are not being preserved. Their languages are the one which are not being preserved. That is why these days you see, whenever government is going for any kind of extension of the 8th schedule, it is always including a northeastern language, whether it has been Manipuri, whether it has been Bodo. Getting my point? So just to give them a sense of security to the culture, the government is going for the extension, and it is always including one or the other language of the Northeast, in the process. Now, along with that, as regards the people of the Northeast is concerned, they are not enjoying their representation in the entertainment industry. What about the participation of the people of Northeast in the Bollywood? Do you know any major actor of Bollywood who is from Northeast? I don't recognize any actually. Now, along with that, what you will see, what about the regional entertainment industry? What about the regional entertainment industry of the Northeast? I'll give you an example. Different states are having the regional entertainment industries of their own. South India is having the best, working on the anti-gravity principles. Okay, now the point is better than Hollywood sometimes. Now the point is, along with that, there are other industries also. Like if you talk about the Punjabi movie industry, that is also very flourishing. Okay, along with that, in West Bengal also it is there. Okay, along with that, this Rajasthani folk industry is something which is also coming up. And now yes, better Bhojpuri also, fine, Bhojpuri. Now I can like very much connect what kind of entertainment do you like when you are talking about the Bhojpuri industry, huh? Now the point is, yes, the Bhojpuri industry is also there. So along with the different industries are developing, but what about the Northeastern industry, which is so rich in culture, They are having 400 plus tribes, and they are so much sensitive towards their ethnicity, and you are not having any mechanism to recognize them, any mechanism to promote that industry. So there is a sense of cultural isolation. They don't consider themselves as a part of India. You see, when Simon Commission came to India, so the Naga leaders met Simon Commission and they said that, sir, leave us alone and let us decide our own destiny. Leave us alone and let us decide our own destiny. ठीक है, आप हमें खुद डिसाइड करने दो where we are going to be and where we are heading. Let us decide of our own. Now, this is cultural isolation. Along with that, there are a number of political reasons. These political reasons can further be divided into two categories. First is economic and infrastructural. economic and infrastructural. Second is administrative. Second is administrative reason. Let's talk about these economic as well as the infrastructural reasons first. See, there is a line which is very famous about Northeast, and that is the Northeast is very rich in resources. Northeast is very rich in resources, but very poor in destiny. Very poor in destiny. Very poor in destiny means what? See, we talk about the petroleum resources. If we talk about the petroleum resources, a good chunk of our petroleum resources is coming from Northeast, but we are extracting the petroleum resources and opening a refinery at Baroni. But along with that, Northeast is having a very great potential of hydroelectricity, specifically the state of Manipur. But Northeast is one such region of India which is not having the energy security. It is something which is not having the energy security. Energy deficiency is something which can be seen. Energy deficit is something which can be seen as regards the state of the Northeast is concerned. Along with that, petroleum is there, hydroelectricity is there. Now what you will see is forest resources are very rich. Mining potential is very high. But what about the revenue sharing on part of the government? Revenue sharing is not there. Revenue sharing is not there. Revenue sharing is missing as regards the northeastern states are concerned. Along with that, if we talk about the infrastructure, entire northeast is not on the railway map of India. Entire northeast is not on the railway map of India. When we talk about the northeast, entire northeast is not on the railway map. What about the airports? Whole of the northeast is not connected to the airport. Combined number of airports in the northeast, Uttar Pradesh is having more airports than the northeast. Entire northeast airports are less than in number comparative to Uttar Pradesh. Okay. Now next is what about the roads? Roads development is very poor. What about the IITs and IIMs in the northeast? I remember only one IIT, and that is IIT Guwahati. IIMs only IIM Shillong, and that too is a recent one. As regards NITs, NIT Agartala and NIT Silchar is there. Rest the NITs are also not there. NITs are also not there. Now, what about the employment opportunities? Employment opportunities are very low. What about the transport? The transport is also very low. The transport modes are the one which are not developed as regards northeast is concerned. So you see, you can see the economic as well as the infrastructural reasons which are responsible to a greater extent as regards insurgency is concerned. They have a sense of discontent when it's more of an inter-regional differences, and you see inter-regional differences has such manifestations which can create internal security disorders. Okay, one by one we'll be seeing also when we'll be talking about the issue of different states. Now, administrative reasons. What about the political participation? Political participation of the people of the northeast. If we talk about the political participation of the people of the northeast, it is very low. It is very low. Political participation in terms of, I'm saying, parliament. And one fact which is responsible for it is the federation or the federal nature. The federal nature of India. Why? Because you see, Indian Federation has not been created on the lines of equality of states. Indian Federation has not been created on the lines of equality of state. What is equality of state? One vote, one state, one vote, one state, one seat in Rajya Sabha. Or based upon that, if we talk about US serves as the perfect example where equality of state is followed. In our case, equality of state is something which is missing. Entire Uttar Pradesh is having more seats of Rajya Sabha as well as Lok Sabha than the entire Northeast. Why? Because there is a representation which is purely based on the population. Which is purely based on the population. So the point is that when it comes to the political representation is very low. Our Honorable Prime Minister of India, His Excellency Shri Narendra Modi, once he went to what you can say Northeast to sign the peace accord with the Naga people in the year 2015 to prepare a roadmap for their development. He has made a promise under that Naga framework that in fact it was a landmark promise, and the landmark promise said that okay, presently you are having 1 Lok Sabha seat, now we are going to give you the 2. Okay, we'll just double the number, right? Earlier you were having 1 seat, now we are going to give you the 2. Okay, this is how we'll be ensuring your political participation in the process. So the point is that the political representation is very low. Along with this political representation, there is a word called parachute politics. Parachute politics. If we talk about this parachute politics, so under the parachute politics, what happens? The well-off section of the Northeast, the rich people of the Northeast are not residing in the Northeast, rather they are residing in more developed areas like Delhi. They are residing in rich areas like Delhi, where the quality of life is something which is better. Okay, pollution excluded. Now the point is that they want a good quality of life, so that's why they are residing in this part. But whenever elections are happening in the Northeast, there is a sudden drop of a leader from Delhi to Northeast. Means those well-off sections are the one which are acting as their representative, which are not even living over there. There will be a drop of the chief ministerial candidate, as it has happened in the case of Manipur. You will just end up dropping a chief ministerial candidate, you will just end up dropping an MP candidate from Delhi, and that too he'll be dropped over there in what you can say northeastern states. Along with that, there is another word, that is, you can say it is more of an example of what we call as remote controlled politics. It's more of an example of remote controlled politics. Remote control is in Delhi, and you are just controlling the entire Northeast from Delhi. There is another word that is famous over there, or in fact for Northeast, and that is package politics. That is package politics. What is package politics? Now when we talk about the package politics, so there are elections in the Northeast, this is the right time to give them the packages. Okay, this meant thousands of crores for the development of Northeast. Thousands of crores for the development of Northeast. I'll give you one example. The peace accord which His Excellency Prime Minister has signed over there. Now that talks about an economic package of 1 lakh crore. An economic package of 1 lakh crore for the development of Nagaland itself. But as of now, I think 6 or 7 years have passed. Nothing has been done as of now. See, our former Prime Minister of India, Mr. Rajiv Gandhi, has once said that if center government is going to release rupee 1 for a beneficiary, by the time it is reaching the beneficiary, it is becoming 15 paisa. 85% paisa is for corruption. 85 paisa will go to corrupt activities. And so the very same principles applies over here also. Some very same principles applies over here also. But no matter government is giving them the packages, what about the implementation of those packages? Are they implemented? Absolutely not. Because if this would have been the situation, the condition of Northeast would not have been so pathetic as it is as of now. 70 years plus of independence have been there. Fine. Now, so development activities. Along with that, what about e-governance initiative in the Northeast? Not there. E-governance is missing. Doorstep delivery of the services is something which is missing in case of Northeast. Doorstep delivery of the services is something which is missing as regards the northeast is concerned. Okay, as regards to northeast is concerned. Fair enough. Now, these are certain major, or on a very broader spectrum, on a very broader basis, these are certain reasons which are responsible for the spread of insurgency. Okay, now next we'll talk about the northeast, and that too state by state. Okay, better I'll be telling you about Armed Forces Special Powers Act. It is it's a different topic, don't worry about that, right? Okay, fair enough. Now, first state that we'll be talking of is Assam. Assam. As regards Assam is concerned, Assam was invaded by Shan invaders. It was invaded by Shan invaders, and this Assam was invaded by Shan invaders, and they established a home kingdom, AHOM. They have established a home kingdom over there. In fact, Assam was earlier known as Asama. It was earlier known as Asama. Asama is a Sanskrit word. Asama is a Sanskrit word, and this Sanskrit word means what? It means that land of fearless. Land of fearless. Land of fearless. And the English or the Anglo version of this word Asama is Assam. Is Assam. Fine. Now, if we talk about Assam, Assam is inhabited by 35 plus tribes. 35 plus tribes. There is an umbrella term which we are using for these tribes, and that is Asur. There is an umbrella term which we are using for these tribes. So these 35 tribes on the combined basis are known as Asurs. Now, these Asurs are there. Major tribes are Kirtas, K-I-R-A-T-A-S, Sinas, Bodos, etc. These are the major tribes. Along with that, other primitive tribes are also there. Along with that, other primitive tribes are also present over there. This is basic of Assam, very basic of Assam. Now let us see how the problem starts. Let's now focus on how actually the problem starts. Now, when we talk about Assam, so it all starts from 1971. It all starts from 1971. See here, when we are talking about Assam, we will be majorly discussing. Let me tell you, what is the role of ASU, All Assam Student Union? What is the role of ULFA? Okay, and what has been the Assam Accord? How it is associated with NRC? What is the controversy related to Clause 5, Clause 6 of Assam Accord and NRC, and the Citizenship Amendment Act, okay, why they are protesting in Assam, and how it has influenced the peace over there. Okay, I will not be giving you facts, let me tell you. Okay, now the point is, I won't be giving you facts regarding it. Now, facts would be there in the yellow book. Now the point is, yes, absolutely, Bharat, absolutely, beta, yellow book mein hoga, but a yellow book will have facts. Please try to understand the things over there. Meanwhile, you can draw the way I am drawing it on the board, right? Fine. Now the point is, see, one more thing, let me tell you, that because since 6 classes won't be suffice the purpose of completion of our syllabus, let me be very honest and blunt with the approach. So in that case scenario, I'll be uploading certain other sessions also. Those sessions would be available via what you can say the recorded sessions. In the recorded format, it will be available to you people. Okay, and one additional thing, one answer writing session video also I'll upload. Along with that, the current affairs related to internal security. ठीक है, खुश हो जाओ. अब इसके बाद तो देखो बेटा कुछ नहीं बचा, इसके बाद तो सिर्फ सिलेक्शन ही बचा है, right? Fine, fair enough. Now the point is, हाँ, असुर मीन्स डेमन, राइट? असुर मीन्स डेमन. ठीक है, थैंक यू बेटा. बट ये जो लाल वाला दिल है, ये जो आपने इमोजी बना के भेजा, ये अपने पास ही रखो, ठीक है? मेरा दिल मेरे घर पे इंतजार कर रहा है. No, please keep it to yourself only. I mean my mother, right? I mean my mother. हमेशा उल्टा ही सोचना, कुछ अच्छा मत सोचना. Now 1971. See, in 1971 there was this Bangladesh Liberation War. Bangladesh Liberation. Fine. Now Bangladesh Liberation War was there. But in 1975, emergency was proclaimed. Please see the chronology. National emergency was proclaimed by Indira Ji. Now, after that, in 1977, what has happened? But a Janta government was formed. Janta government or Janta Party government. Remember the government under Morarji Desai, which repealed most of the 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act, 42nd Constitutional Amendment, and by the 44th one, right? Yes, exactly. Now, just see, 1971 Bangladesh war was there, 75 emergency was proclaimed, 77 Janta government was formed. Now in Assam also, the Janta Party government was formed. In Assam also, the Janta Party government was formed, and it was led by Mr. Borbora. Mr. Borbora ended up becoming the chief minister over there. He became the chief minister over there. Fine, fair enough. Now, when Mr. Borbora became the chief minister, the election commission, see, there was a very important administrative development, and that was that, sir, at the very same time, the Election Commission of India has conducted a conference, and this conference was led by the Chief Election Commissioner, and Chief Election Commissioner, sir, made a statement, and the statement was, what was the statement? That statement was that illegal foreign elements, they should not have voting rights. 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 Means what? Means what? Now, why this word illegal migration is coming into the picture? Please try to understand this first. Why this word illegal migrants, foreign illegal elements means illegal migrants. Why it is coming into the picture? Tell me one thing. Do you remember what is the history behind the Bangladesh war? Say yes or no. Otherwise, I'll tell you within 2 or 3 lines. Should I tell you? Say yes or no, or you have studied it somewhere? Okay, let me tell you. Okay. See, now the point is, beta, now you see is, see, if we talk about Bangladesh, so how the situations arose which eventually resulted in the Bangladesh liberation movement and Bangladesh war, which led to the formation of Bangladesh. You very well know that there was 2 parts of Pakistan. One was western part, that is the present Pakistan. Another was the eastern Pakistan before 1971, which is now known as Bangladesh. Okay. As regards this eastern Pakistan is concerned, these people, eastern Pakistan Muslims, were the one which were never liked by the western Pakistan. Okay. So there was a leader in the East Pakistan. His name was Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. Now Mr. Rahman, he actually commanded a thumping victory in the general elections, and he was on the verge of becoming the Prime Minister of the Pakistan, United Pakistan. He was on the verge of becoming the Prime Minister of Pakistan, but this was not acceptable by the West Pakistan leadership. So with the help of the Western Pakistan, or the army of the Pakistan, they started inflicting the atrocities onto the people of Eastern Pakistan. As a part of the Operation Searchlight, a number of Eastern Pakistan Muslims, the Bengali Muslims, were the one which were massacred, which were killed in the cold blood by the Pakistani army. Okay, at times they were killed. Now, Along with that, what you will see is this resulted in a movement under the leadership of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, and that was known as Bangladesh Liberation Movement. They aimed at creating a new state for themselves. New state means new country for themselves, and that was Bangladesh. India has supported it. With the support of India, finally Bangladesh was born in the year 1971. 1971, finally Bangladesh was born. But before Bangladesh was born, because of the atrocities which the Bengali Muslims were facing on part of the Pakistani army, these people started migrating towards India. These people started migrating towards India, and this migration was welcomed on part of the government of India. Indiraji recognized India as the elder brother of Eastern Pakistan or Bangladesh. Okay, they said that we are the one who are just welcoming you with opening arms. Okay, we are just welcoming you with opening arms, but without a legal framework, without a constitutional framework, they migrated. This itself caused a very big problem. Now, so you see, these illegal migrants were coming. Now they said that they should not have the voting rights. These people should not have the voting rights over there. Perfectly fine. Now this decision was welcomed by Borobara. This Borobara was having slightly rightist opinion, so he also said that yes, election commission is fine with the statement. Now meanwhile, there were two very dominant ministers in the Borobara government. Those two Muslim ministers, they resigned. They resigned as a part of retaliation against the Boroboras, supporting the Election Commission of India's claims. What will happen? It led to the political crisis, and the political crisis eventually led to the fall of the Borobora government. Borobora fell. Now, new government was formed under the leadership of Zogendra Hazarika. The new government was formed. It was a Congress government which was formed under the leadership of Zogendra Hazarika. Now, Zogendra Hazarika became the chief minister. Meanwhile, one more political development happened. What was the political development? And the political development was that member of parliament of Mangal-Doi. Mangal-Doi is a constituency. Member of parliament of Mangal-Doi, he died. The member of parliament of Mangal-Doi, he died. Okay, he died. What was the impact? Impact was that polls were announced. Polls were announced, and when polls were announced, the Election Commission of India also got the opportunity. What was the opportunity? Polls were announced. Election Commission of India now decided that the electoral list should be revised. They talked about revision of electoral list. They talked about the revision of electoral list, and this revision, I'm just writing it over here, right? So the Election Commission of India talked about what? It talked about the revision of electoral list. But the revision of electoral list will be done on two grounds. Revision will be done on two grounds. First is addition of new voters. Addition of new voters, and deletion of those who have migrated. Deletion of those who have migrated and those who are dead. Those who are dead, and deletion of those who have migrated, the Election Commission of India said. Now, meanwhile, Election Commission of India received the complaint that there are 70,000 illegal Bangladeshis in India. There are 70,000 illegal Bangladeshis in the area, rather. Fine. Now, the Election Commission of India conveyed the very same fact to Zogendra Hazarika. Zogendra Hazarika initially disagreed to it. Later on, he constituted a tribunal to look into the matter. He constituted a tribunal to look into the matter whether the claims of Election Commission of India stand the ground or not? Absolutely fine. Now, he constituted a tribunal. When he constituted a tribunal, tribunal also said, yes, sir, they are, but they are 45,000 in number. They are not 70,000. Rather, they are 45,000 in number. Jogendra Hazarika initially was very hesitant to act. Later on, he was on the verge of acting onto that particular figures, on the particular facts. But this also led to the fail of government. Government failed means failure on part of the government. Government was initially looking to implement it, but the government fell. Jogendra Hazarika had to resign. Again a political crisis. What will happen next? Next is president rule was imposed. Next is president rule was imposed over there. Okay, president rule was imposed over there. Fine. President rule was imposed over there. Fine, fair enough. Now you see that there was this organization called ASU, All Assamese Student Union. It was a student union of Assamese student. Okay, very powerful organization. Was formed in 1979. Was formed in the year 1979. ASU was simply formed on one line, on one agenda, and that was that all the illegal migrants, majorly Bangladeshis, they should be deported. They should be deported. Fine. Only this much we know. That is what ASU said, that these should be deported, and too with the immediate effect, we know only that much. This was their primary and the last demand. ASU decided to talk to Government of India regarding the same. They were looking to, the Government of India was also looking for a set of negotiations with ASU. Government of India said there were as regards the ASU as well as the Government of India's talks were concerned. As regards ASU and Government of India talks were concerned, ASU was very keen on only one demand, that is all illegal migrants should be deported. All illegal migrants should be deported. But Government of India had a different stand. Government of India's stand was that yes, we are ready to deport the illegal migrants, but only those which came after 1971. We will deport only those which came after 1971. This was government stand, because government believed कि भाई 1971, okay, fine, their country was created. Bangla dominated country was created. So why they are not having any sense of insecurity over there? So in that case scenario, they should reside in their own country. But before 1971, they were not agreeing. Government was not agreeing. Government said that no, before 1971, we won't be. They said that no, sir, you have to deport everyone. So there was a sense of failed communication, or you can say a failed attempt of negotiation. But one major political development has happened now, and that was death of Indira Gandhi, or rather you say killing of Indira Gandhi. Killing of Indira Gandhi. Indira Gandhi was killed. Indira Gandhi was killed. Now Mr. Rajiv became the Prime Minister. Rajiv Gandhi became the Prime Minister. Parachute politics. Now when Rajiv Gandhi, don't write this word parachute politics. वो तो अब वाले हैं. Now the point is that this Rajiv Gandhi, he became the Prime Minister. When Rajiv Gandhi became the Prime Minister, meanwhile, one more thing has happened, that Congress won the elections in Assam. So now it was very alarming for ASU, which initially enjoyed the people's support. Alarming as of what? Because earlier they were thinking that they are having the mass support in that case scenario, they would be able to persuade the government for any accord of their own choice. Government will bow down to their demands. They said that no detection, no revision, no election. No detection, no revision, no election. In that case scenario, we won't allow the elections to happen, but this was not a possibility. Indira was there earlier. Now the point is that finally Congress formed the government in Assam. Rajiv came at center. Rajiv Gandhi came at center. Now ASU wanted to talk to the government. Earlier government wanted to talk to ASU. Now government wanted to talk to ASU. Now, as a result, as a set of negotiations between ASU and government of India, finally Assam Accord was signed. Finally Assam Accord was signed. Okay, finally Assam Accord was signed between them. What was Assam Accord? There are 3 dates which are very important for Assam Accord. There are 3 dates which you should remember for Assam Accords. Okay, we'll take a separate slide. Assam Accord. Assam Accord. Now, in this Assam Accord, the first date was 1st January 1966. 1st January 1966. Second was 25th of March 1971. Third was after 1971. After 1971. Now, there is a clause in Assam Accord, that is clause 5. There is a clause called clause 5. The clause 5 of the Assam Accord basically talks about these 3 dates. The clause 5 of Assam Accord basically talks about these 3 dates. What's the significance of these dates? It was agreed upon by the ASU as well as the government of India that all the migrants which have entered before this date, they have entered before 1st of January 1966 in India. They have entered before 1st of January 1966 in India. They would be regularized. They would be regularized and they will have voting rights. Means what? They will be getting the citizenship. They'll be getting the citizenship, number 1, before 1966. Second is, those who have come to India between 1966 but before 25th of March 1971, between 66 and 25th of March 1971, these people will be registered as foreign nationals. Under Foreigners Registration Act. Under Foreigners Registration Act. That means they are not citizens. If they want the citizenship, they'll have to go through the formal channel. If they want citizenship, in that case scenario, they'll have to go through the formal channels. Fine. Formal channels. They won't be getting the voting rights for 10 years. After 10 years, they will be getting the voting rights. After 10 years, they will be getting the voting rights. Fine. Beta 66, significance of 66 is that this was the time when atrocities were inflicted upon the people of Bangladesh, present Bangladesh, right? Now, what is the significance of this date after 1971? The government said that these people are illegal and they will be deported. These people are illegal and these people shall be deported. Now, as regards these peoples are concerned, these people will be deported. We will be deporting these people out of India. We will be throwing them out of India, right? This was clause 5 of the Assam Accord. This was clause 5 of the Assam Accord. Now, this was clause 5 of the Assam Accord. Now, what's the controversy? What's the controversy when it comes to Assam Accord? Issue of NRC, issue of CAA, and what is the role of clause 6 of Assam Accord? Of Assam Accord. CA, NRC, let's see everything in one domain, right? See, please pay attention to it. Assam Accord. So we are clear with clause 5 of Assam Accord. Clause 5 of the Assam Accord. Now, before that also there have been the continuous attempts which have been made regarding this illegal migrants. Like one such attempt was that immigrants exclusion from Assam Act. Immigrants exclusion from Assam Act, which also talked about excluding these people out of India. Okay, it was an act of 1951. But the major issue was that you are talking about excluding these people, you are talking about deporting these people. But the very first requirement is how you are going to identify these people. The first part is identification. First you'll have to identify, then only you are going to throw them out. For the sake of identification, the concept of NRC came. NRC was for the sake of what? For the sake of identification. National Register of Citizens. Those who came before 66, between 66 and 71, and after 71. After 71. Getting my point or not? So accordingly they are the one which will be sent back, deported back. Now, what is the controversy associated with the Citizenship Amendment Bill? Now, I hope the regularization of the citizenship as well as registration of the foreigner parts is clear in the Assam Accord. But now the government, what the government has done, the present government has done, on their part they have played a political master stroke. What they have done, they have said that they have shifted the date to 31st December 2014. They have shifted the date from 31st December 2014. Now what they are saying? The Citizenship Amendment Bill says that the citizenship would be given, but it will be given only to Hindus. It will be given only to the Sikh community. It will be given only to the Parsis, Jains, Buddhist, and that too to Pakistan, that too from Pakistan, Afghanistan and Bangladesh. Pakistan, Afghanistan and Bangladesh, and all these communities are non-Muslim. So this, don't you think it is the clear violation of Assam Accord? Yeah, Christians are also there. Now the point is, don't you see that this is the clear violation of Assam Accord? In Assam Accord, you have promised them the citizenship. Now you are saying that only those who have, this date is the one which is being shifted. This date is the one which is being shifted to 2014. This date is the one which has been shifted to 2014. almost a gap of 40 plus years, almost a gap of 40 years, and now you are also giving the communal angle. Why? Because those who are coming from Bangladesh would be Muslims. Majority of the migrants who are residing in India are Muslims. But now we are talking about giving the, what you can say, the citizenship on the basis of non-Muslims. You are just talking, including the religious angle in the process. I hope it's clear with you. Now, another thing is associated with clause 6. Clause 6 talked about the cultural sovereignty of Assam. Cultural sovereignty of Assam means what? That your culture won't be invaded. Your culture would be safe. Your culture would be safe. No cultural invasion on our part. Okay. Now the point is that cultural invasion won't be there. But now the people of Assam say that those who would be coming from Bangladesh, the Hindus, they'll be residing in Assam. And when they will be residing in Assam, it is a threat to their culture. We might be reduced to minorities. We might be reduced to minorities. That's why they are also protesting against this CAA. Along with the migrants, they are also protesting against the CAA. Again, there are debates like the government is looking to build an NRC for entire country. No, it's a foolish argument. Government is not going to make any NRC for the country. As of now, there are no plans of the government to make NRC. Okay, ठीक है, गवर्नमेंट की कोई ऐसी पॉलिसी नहीं है कि इन विच दे आर गोइंग टू बिल्ड एन एनआरसी फॉर द एंटायर कंट्री, राइट? Now you have asked a good question, sir. If Muslim convert to these religions, will they be eligible for citizenship? Okay, there as of now the act does not talk about it. Okay, that if the Muslims are going to convert for that purposes. Okay, but a CAA is for entire country, but the issue is with Assam because most of the illegal migration has taken place in Assam only, right? Okay, most of the, so as of now act does not talk about it, that what's the conversion thing. If they are getting converted into Hinduism, in that case scenario they will end up getting the citizenship or not, or into the particular religion. So practically it's a yes. As regards the fallacy of the law is concerned, in that case scenario it's a yes on that part. Okay, now the point is okay. So this is controversy and everything related to the Assam. Okay, now why the government of India brought religious agenda? Because agar ek baat dekho beta, honestly speaking, Shiv Sahib, when we talk about the creation of Pakistan was created on the religious lines, or rather the communal lines. So majority of the people residing over there are Muslims, and Pakistan is not a secular state. It is Islamic State of Republic of Pakistan. Now the point is, when Pakistan, the people, Muslim people, they have got their own country as it was the agenda at the time of what you can say at the time of partition. When those people have got their own country, in that case scenario, what is the point behind atrocity? If the Bangladesh peoples are having their own Bangladesh, in that case scenario, what is the point behind atrocities? They want to segregate from the western part. Now they have their own countries. So now what do you presume, that they will be facing the atrocities? They will be facing the atrocities on part of the government. I think that is not a reasonable justification. That is not a prudent justification. That can be what you can say. That is something that can be more of a what you can say prudent justification than that part, that they will be facing the very same thing over there. Okay. ठीक है, तो इन दैट केस सिनेरियो, सो फिर भाई देखो बांग्लादेश बनाने का एडवांटेज ही क्या हुआ, जब आपको सभी बांग्लादेशीज को इंडिया में ही अकोमोडेट करना था. ओके, सो देयर वुड नॉट हैव बीन देयर शुड नॉट हैव बीन द पॉसिबिलिटी ऑफ बांग्लादेश. But as regards minorities over there are concerned, the minorities are the one which are facing the atrocities. So minorities are facing the atrocities. In that case scenario, they have to be brought within the domain of the Citizenship Amendment Act. Government stand, right? The stand of the government. Okay, not my stance, right? Okay. Now you are talking about why Tamils for Sri Lanka are not included. But go and ask the government, right? Go and ask the government. Don't create the controversies in the class. Okay, please go and ask your citizenship, sir, Okay, regarding the West, why they have not been included, why they're not. I will discuss only from the point of view of internal security. Okay, now the point is, अब आप बता रहे बेटा, you are talking about this Uyghurs and the Sri Lankan Tamil issues. That is something which is more of a matter subjected to the discretion of the honorable government. Okay, the questions could be raised to PMO, pg.gov.in, right? In that case scenario. Awesome. Now in the entire picture you will see, in the entire, oh, see, I'm a very honest person as regards my opinions are concerned, gentlemen. Is that your honest reply? Yes, absolutely. As regards UPSC is concerned, every individual is the one which is having a political orientation of his own. But as regards UPSC is concerned, you have to go very balanced. In a very balanced approach, you will have to go. Okay, you have to be neutral. You have to be neutral as regards this any of the approach, because you have to pass the examination. You don't have to be a politician, right? You have to pass the examination. Keep your what you can say, this internal rebellious element in yourself only, right? As regards such very thick, or sorry, very thin topics are concerned. Fine. Now you see, as of now, ULFA is absent into the picture. ULFA is absent into the picture. Along with ASU, there was another organization which was formed in 1979, and that was ULFA. ULFA. ULFA stands for United Liberation Front of Assam. It stands for United Liberation Front of Assam, ULFA. Now, when we talk about the United Liberation Front of Assam, United Liberation Front of Assam, so in that case scenario, this ULFA, first of all, it was formed at a place called Rangghar Pavilion. This Rangghar Pavilion is Shivsagar district of Assam. Shivsagar district of Assam. They were formed in this, formed in the Shivsagar district of Assam. And ULFA always demanded a socialist and Swadhin Assam. They always demanded a socialist and Swadhin Assam. There were four major leaders. There were four major leaders which were responsible for the creation of this ULFA. They were first Aurobindo Rajkhova. Aurobindo. Rajkhova. Second was Anup Chetia. Anup Chetia. Anup Chetia. Third was Pradeep Gogoi. Pradeep Gogoi. And the fourth was Pradeep Chetia, Pradeep Gogoi, Anup Chetia, Aurobindo Rajkhova, and fourth was Paresh Barua. Paresh Barua. Fourth was Paresh Barua. Now, ULFA, what is so common about these four leaders? All these four leaders belong to a community called Motkas. They belong to a community, they belong to a tribe called Motkas. Motkas has very close relations with Ahom. Remember Ahom? They had very close relations with the Ahom kingdom. They had a very close relationship with the Ahom people. Got it? Now the point is, see, as regards your questions are concerned, I'll take it at the last, don't worry, right? Let me just complete this part. Relations with the Ahom. You see, these Motkas were originally involved in the tea as well as the oil business in Assam. Initially, they were involved in the tea plantation and oil business, but with Britishers coming, they were deprived of their rights. And you can say they were thrown out of the tea as well as the oil business. They were thrown out of the tea as well as the oil business over there. ठीक है, okay. Now, so formation of ULFA was more of an attempt on their part to regain their entity. Formation of ULFA was more of an attempt on their part to gain or to regain their identity. Okay. Now, when we talk about this ULFA, so this ULFA was very unhappy after signing of Assam Accord. When Assam Accord was signed between ASU and Government of India, they were very unhappy. Why they were very unhappy? Because they were like very critical in the sense that they were not invited. So you have signed the Assam Accord with ASU. Why we are not invited in the process? We are also bigger organization. Same at the very same time, 1979. We are also the representative of the Assamese people. So in that case scenario, why we are not invited in the process? We should also be invited in the process, but they were not invited in the process. As a result, ULFA turned violent. And this violence was seen when they have killed the chairperson of KCC, Kamaroop Chamber of Commerce. Kamaroop Chamber of Commerce president was the one which was killed by ULFA. Okay. Now ULFA started the violence by this event. Later on, the violent activities were on the rise as regards ULFA is concerned. A huge amount of violence or violent activities were there as regards ULFA was. Government of India initiated an operation with the name Operation Bajrang. With the name Operation Bajrang, to inflict heavy blows onto ULFA rebels, and it was a success. But the Operation Bajrang was stopped in between, and army was recalled to the barracks because of elections, right? Army was recalled to the barracks because of the elections. Okay? Elections were there, as a result army had to be called back in between. Later on there was another operation. That operation was Operation Rhino. That operation was Operation Rhino, and as a part of Operation Rhino, it was an operation which was more oriented towards putting a kind of psychological stress as well as physical stress. Okay, it was more of an effort on part of the government to put a psychological stress as well as a physical stress, psychological stress by IB, because IB was now tracing the money sources. Physical stress on part of the army. Army was continuously like inflicting the heavy blows, okay, on the ULFA rebels, killing ULFA rebels. And you see, as regards, see, any movement cannot survive without monetary assistances. Without money, any movement cannot survive. Without money, you and I cannot survive, right? Forget about a movement. So the point is, now the point is, okay, now the point is, what ULFA wanted, बता रहा हूँ ना बेटा, अभी बता रहा हूँ क्या what ULFA wanted. ULFA wanted a selfie with Kangana Ranaut. लिख लो. अभी बता रहा हूँ ना ULFA को क्या चाहिए. रुक जाओ बेटा. Now the point is that it was more of an attempt of psychological stress as well as the physical stress. Physical stress, army was inflicting heavy blows. Psychological stress, why? Because IB was now looking for the monetary assistance source. They were trying to trace the monetary assistance from where they are actually getting the monetary assistances. Okay. Now, so this was a very successful operation. It led to the result. The result was that it led to the arrest of top 3 ULFA leaders. Top 3 ULFA leaders by the government of India. One fled to Bangladesh. Now the talks started. Talks were like government of India tried to persuade them for the sake of negotiations. There were these three leaders. Three leaders said that, sir, the one who is there in the Bangladesh is our top leader. So we can't talk without him. We can't talk without him. So in that case scenario, sir, either you bring him to India or send us to Bangladesh, so that accordingly we can decide, and then we'll have a talk with the government of India. Government of India decided to send the three to Bangladesh. They never came back. They lived happily thereafter, right? They never came back. Fine. Now, next is, but the talks started. ULFA has appointed a negotiator for themselves, and that was Indira Goswami. They have appointed a negotiator for themselves, and that was Indira Goswami. Now comes Indira Goswami and Government of India talks. There were three conditions which were put forward. Okay, क्या कह रहे हो बेटा आशीष? I think she was a poet. मुझे नहीं पता बेटा, ठीक है, मैंने नहीं पढ़ी उनकी कोई भी रसीली कविताएं. Now the point is Indira Goswami and Government of India's talks. There were three conditions which were put forward by the ULFA, and these three conditions were, you see the wonderful conditions. First, they said that talks should happen in a third country. Second, they said that they should happen under UN supervision. And third was, they said that as regards these talks are concerned, they should discuss the idea of sovereign Assam. Now you got what they wanted. They, Swadhin Assam, sovereign Assam. Assam, sovereignty cannot be guaranteed. Autonomy and sovereignty are two different aspects. Autonomy we can talk of, because autonomy is within the sovereignty of India. But when you are talking about sovereignty, it means creation of a new political unit in the form of a country. That cannot be correct. That cannot be correct. So what do you think? How many of the demands would have been accepted by the government? How many of the demands out of the three government would have accepted? Zero. यार ये कुछ ज़्यादा नहीं हो गया? चलो. Now third country, government said no. ठीक है, government said no. We won't be accepting the third country. कहना इधर आके बात करनी है तो करो, ठीक है, इधर आके बात करनी है तो करो, नहीं तो अपन अमित शाह को फोन लगा रहे हैं. He was not there at that time, right? He was not there at that time. Now the point is, this was not accepted. UN supervision not possible. Why? It's our internal affair. Why UN should be invited to it? It's our internal affair. ठीक है. Now sovereign Assam. Sovereign Assam. So these two were rejected by the government. Sovereign Assam, ULFA said that okay, we'll not discuss this. This was taken back by the ULFA themselves. This was taken back by the ULFA themselves. But the talks happened. The talks were on the idea of economic development of Assam. The talks was regarding the illegal migration. The talks was regarding the revenue sharing. The talks were regarding the massive level of unemployment which is there in Assam. Talks started. Talks were initiated. अब इसका मतलब क्या है? What is the meaning of these four statements? Okay. Now what's the meaning of these four words? Four words means what? The government has given them a tranquilizer. Because you see, these are the promises which government never fulfills. Don't write this thing, right? Now the point is that these are the promises which government will never fulfill, because these are the promises which government is making from the past 70 plus years. So this was a kind of churan which the government of India gave to those people. But you see, better third is revenue sharing. Revenue sharing. Now, but the ULFA now got divided into two factions. ULFA now got divided into two factions. One was PTF, another was ATF. Another was ATF. One faction believed that what you are saying, that is not at all acceptable. Another faction said that at least we should talk. बात करने से ही तो बात बनती है. Now the point is, they said that we will talk. PTF said we will talk. PTF stands for Pro-Talk Faction. Pro-Talk Faction. Pro-Talk Faction. This Pro-Talk Faction was led by Arbindo Raj Khova. It was led by Arbindo Raj Khova. Anti-Talk Faction was led by Paresh Barua. Paresh Barua led this. PTF, okay, PTF was Pro-Talk Faction, ATF was Anti-Talk Faction. ठीक है, क्या पूछ रहे हो बेटा? सर इतना भाव क्यों दे रहे हैं उल्फा को? बेटा उस टाइम पे मिस्टर 56 नहीं थे ना. ठीक है, अगर मिस्टर 56 होते उस टाइम पे और मोटा भाई होते तो फिर दिस वुड नॉट हैव बीन द पॉसिबिलिटी. हाँ, now the point is that there was two factions over there. As of now, peace has been restored. Peace has been restored because they have also declared ceasefire. They have also declared ceasefire. Fine. They were declared ceasefire. Fine. कुछ नहीं बेटा, 56 is nothing, right? ऐसे बोल दिया मैंने. ठीक है. Now the point is, see, they were able to operate from the Bangladesh, right? Most of their operations were the one which were actually conveyed from Bangladesh, coordinated from Bangladesh only. Got it? Next is, so this was all about that. एक छोटा सा issue हो रहा है Bodoland का. The issue is like there are 4 districts which are lying to the north of this Brahmaputra river, and it is like the Bodo community is there, which is also very dominant. They are also like willing to take a new country with the name of Bodoland. That is more of facts that I've already covered in the notes part. Don't worry about that. Okay? Now the next thing is, we'll talk about Nagaland. We'll talk about Nagaland. Nagaland is majorly inhabited by Nagas. Naga is an umbrella term which is used for 50 plus tribes. It is used for 50 plus tribes over there. And out of the 50 plus tribes, major tribes are Angami, Ahom, sorry, not Ahom, Chang, this is AO, Chang, Chang, Lotha, 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 etc. Out of them, Angamis are most developed. The reason, because they have learned agricultural practices as well as efficient use of water. Efficient use of water as well as agricultural practices. How it all started? First of all, Nagas never wanted to integrate with India. I gave you the example of Simon Commission. That a delegation of the Naga leaders once met Simon Commission and said that we never want to integrate with India. Sir, leave us alone and we are capable enough to decide our own destiny. We are capable enough to decide our own destiny. They never wanted to integrate with India. Now, it all starts off from 1940, where Fizo was the leader. He formed NNC. NNC is Naga Nationalist Council. NNC is Naga Nationalist Council. Naga Nationalist Council was formed by Fizo, and Fizo discussed the idea of Nagalim. Fizo discussed the idea of Nagalim. What is the idea of Nagalim now? See, Nagalim, Fizo believed that all the areas which are dominated by the Naga tribes should form a separate and sovereign country with the name Nagalim. It also included a part of Myanmar in it. As regards Nagalim is concerned. Now, Fizo, the government tried to contain Fizo and in 1947 an agreement, a 9-point agreement was signed with Fizo. 9-point agreement was signed, and the 9-point agreement was signed, and this 9-point agreement was also known as Akbar-Hydari Accord. It was known as Akbar-Hydari Accord. Why it was known as Akbar-Hydari Accord? Because Mr. Akbar-Hydari was governor at that time. Mr. Akbar-Hydari was governor at that time, and he is the one who has signed this accord. So that's why it was known as Akbar-Hydari Accord. One of the very important point in the Akbar-Hydari Accord was that it was initially signed for 10 years. And one of the important points over there was that if NNC wants to continue with Akbar-Hydari Accord after you can see 10 years, then it can be continued. Otherwise, if they want to dissolve it, it can be dissolved after 10 years. It is totally up to the discretion of NNC whether to continue with the accord or not. Now the very next part, what has happened, this guy Fizo, he violated the accord, and he declared independence. He violated the accord, and what he did, he declared independence. And now you see, this man formed his own republic and formed Naga federal government. He formed his own army, that was Naga Federal Army. And this man completely declared independence. Okay. So now the point is, when he has declared independence, it was not acceptable by the government of India. Immediately Fizo was arrested, though later on he was released. And this army was disbanded along with the Naga federal. Now you see, Nehru played a political master stroke meanwhile. And what was the political master stroke on part of Mr. Nehru? It was that he granted the statehood to Nagaland. He granted the statehood to Nagaland in the year 1963. In the year 1963, he granted the statehood to Nagaland. So it was more an effort on part of Nehruji to stop what? To stop this, or you can say to contain the discontentment of the Naga rebels, at least to a greater extent. Now they have an identity with Nagaland. So it was a very big political master stroke on part of Mr. Nehru. When Nagaland was given the autonomy, along with that, the peace accord was also signed later on. Now, Nagaland was given this. So at this time, Fizo went to Britain. And now when Fizo went to Britain, in his place, he has appointed a leader called T. Muviwa. Fizo was not there, and he appointed a leader on his behalf. His name was T. Muviwa. Now you can say T. Muviwa was the face of NNC. T. Muviwa was the face of NNC. T. Muviwa was the major leader of what we call as NNC. But later on, they also very much continued on to the very same idea of Nagalim. They also continued on to the very same idea of Nagalim. Meanwhile, there was another development that in 1971, Bangladesh was created. When Bangladesh was created, all the help that was given to the Naga rebels by the Pakistan, this help actually stopped. Remember? They were supporting the Naga insurgency movement, so this help which they have given, it actually stopped. And Fizo, you can see, was also willing to seek the support of China on the grounds that, that sovereignty should be there as regards Nagalim is concerned. And he knew that China would support, and China has supported. As regards sabotage was concerned, I've told you, infiltration is concerned, training to the Naga rebels was concerned, and on all other matters they have supported. He was getting the support. Now you see what has happened. Now what you will see, that Bangladesh was created. Now Government of India pushed them for peace. Government of India pushed them for peace. Whom? NNC. NNC was pushed for peace, and it led to the signing of Shillong Accord. It led to the signing of Shillong Accord. Peace was restored. Peace was restored to a greater extent with the signing of the Shillong Accord. Okay, it led to the signing of Shillong Accord. Now, there was a faction of Naga leaders who were not in support. Roughly 140 members of NNC were there, who were not giving its support to the Shillong Accord, or you can say who were against the Shillong Accord. Now, these 140 leaders led by T. Muviwa, they formed their own organization called NSCN. Remember NSCN? They formed their own organization front, that is NSCN. NSCN stands for Nationalist Socialist Council of Nagaland. Nationalist Socialist Council of Nagaland was the one which was formed by them. Now they have formed their own, and that was Nationalist Socialist Council of Nagaland. NSCN was formed by them. Now NSCN became the face of Nagalim. NSCN became the face of Nagalim. In fact, you see later on what has happened, that as regards this NSCN was concerned, this NSCN also got divided into two factions. One was NSCN IM group. IM group was Isaac and Muviwa group. Because you see later on Muviwa also believed in the democratic means, that okay, we'll have talk with the government and we'll try to reach peaceful negotiations with the government, and we'll work for the development of the Naga people. Okay, later on his mind changed and he also abjured violence. Now NSCN IM group. Another was Khaplang group. Another was Khaplang group. Another was Khaplang group. See, if we talk about the Khaplang group, so the Khaplang group believed in the violence. NSCN IN was ready to talk. This is the group with which Mr. Modi had a talk in the year 2015. This is the group with which Mr. Modi had a talk in the year 2015, because Khaplang were not ready to talk. Khaplang had declared a ceasefire in the year 2001. But when Mr. Modi has signed a peace agreement with the NSCN IM, in that case scenario, what has happened? Khaplang has violated the ceasefire and they have killed. Like they have violated the ceasefire in 2015 and they have killed the Assam Rifles. 15 Jawans of Assam Rifles were the one which were killed by the Khaplang group. Okay. Now the point is, what was that framework? I'll give you in the written format, in the handout form or something. But if I can just summarize it, so what I can say is, as regards this agreement, this Modi Accord was concerned, or Modi Naga Peace Accord was concerned, what is the theme of that? The theme is that they have increased the political participation of the Naga. They have increased the number of seats from Lok Sabha from 1 to 2. The assembly seats have also been increased from 60 to 70. Along with that, an additional 1 lakh crore economic package has also been given to the Northeast for the economic development, infrastructural development in terms of health, education, and other government institutions. Along with that, they have also talked about the frontier development of frontier Nagaland districts. Along with that, they have also said that there would be a monitoring cell which will be created in the Prime Minister office, which will look after the development of the Nagaland and related issues, etc. So these are just facts, right? So those facts I'll cover in the notes part. Fine. So this is the current situation is the Nagaland is relatively peaceful. Relative word I've used. Why? Because you see, peace is something which can never be an absolute concept, specifically when 13 of the civilian killings have been there on part of the security personnel in the recent times. We'll talk about that issue when we'll be talking about Armed Forces Special Powers Act. Okay. Now the point is that next state that we'll talk about is Mizoram. If we talk about Mizoram, what you will see is in Mizoram, the Mizoram has been the best example of what we call as insurgency to peace and from peace to insecurity. Insurgency to peace and from peace to insecurity. How it has served as the best example. This is the theme which we can use, under which we can discuss the Mizoram. First, insurgency. See, as regards Mizoram is concerned, so in Mizoram there is a myth, and that myth is related to bamboo production. That myth is related to bamboo production. And what is the myth? The myth is that this bamboo production is going to, the increase in the bamboos or the bamboo production is going to cause beta Fizo died the natural death. What happened to Fizo? Fizo died the natural death. Okay. Now the point is bamboo production. As regards the bamboo production is concerned, they say, in fact, it has a technical reason also. They say that it is going to invite famine. It is going to invite famines in Northeast. How? Because you see, the number of rats are going to multiply as a result of the bamboos. They will eventually cause a threat. They will eventually cause a threat to what? They will eventually cause a threat to what we call as, you can say, as regards the cultivation is concerned, as regards the paddy and other agricultural practices are concerned. It will eventually cause. That means what? Food insecurity would be there. Food insecurity means famine's possibility is also. One such condition has happened in the year 1959 in Mizoram, where it was followed by Mautam. Mautam, M-A-U-T-A-M, Mautam. See, Mautam is just the derivative of that Hindi word Matam, which means grief, which means sorrow, which means sadness. So the point is, it was having, this Mautam was there, famine was there, and the government, they waited for 2 years, government didn't reach. Neither the government of Assam nor the government of India has reached to them. This led to the formation of Mizo National Front. This led to the formation of Mizo National Front under the leadership of Lal Denga. Lal Denga, L-A-L-D-E-N-G-A, Lal Denga. Under the leadership of Lal Denga, the Mizo National Front was formed, and Lal Denga raised the idea of Mizoram as a sovereign country. As a sovereign country, give us a separate sovereign country. Give us a separate sovereign country. This is what Lal Denga has said. But this was not acceptable on part of India. The government of India the government of India decided to conduct an operation, and the name of the operation was Operation Jericho. Operation Jericho. And as a result of this Operation Jericho, air strikes were conducted. Air strikes were conducted. And when air strikes were conducted, okay, air strikes were conducted. Now, when air strikes were conducted, resulted in the mass killings. It has resulted in the mass killings, and this was one such example where our own Air Force has led an air strike onto our own people. This is one such example you will never see in the Indian history, that our armed forces acting against our own people. Fine. Now, as a part of Operation Jericho, within a span of 24 hours, within a span of 24 hours, they were concentrated in the camps. Later on, the government of India in 1972 made Mizoram a union territory. Mizo Accord was signed. Mizoram was made a state. Now, I'll give you an example of political wisdom over here. You see how the peace was restored over there. There was a leader called T. Silo. And he was majorly a missionary leader. Now, this man persuaded the youth, women, as well as the missionaries to believe on the idea of peaceful existence. To believe on the idea of peaceful existence, or to believe on abjuring violence. That you should just give up violence. And the idea of abjuring the violence. And it was a very successful political experimentation, because T. Silo to a greater extent was able to persuade the people to abjure violence. One more thing has happened. Now you see, Congress along with MNF, they have contested the elections. And in elections, what has happened? Lal Denga was made chief minister. Lal Denga, who was a rebel leader, he was made chief minister. This is the best example of political sacrifice that we can find in India. So it was more an attempt. See, the attempts on part of the government was going on. Parallel to that, there was an examples of political wisdoms and political sacrifice which were also on the way, which has helped in ensuring the peace as well as prosperity in Mizoram. I hope now you understand how from insurgency we have reached up to peace. Now this is the time to talk about what about insecurity angle. What about this insecurity angle? This insecurity angle is majorly associated with a tribe called Bru tribe. If we talk about this Bru tribe, these Bru tribe are known by different names in different states. Like, if we talk about these Brus are known as Bru in Mizoram, and they are known by Riang. They are known by Riang as regards the another states, like that is Tripura is concerned. Now what has happened in 1995? In 1995, from 1995, the Mizos started believing that Brus are outsider. Brus are outsider in Mizoram, and therefore they should not have voting rights. The voting rights should be denied to them. They should not have the voting rights because they are outsiders. They should not have the voting rights because they are outsiders. And this was, you see what has happened. The violence erupted in 1997. The violence erupted in 1997 between the two communities when a Mizo forest guard was killed. A Mizo guard was killed by Bru. What is the impact? The impact is, just I'll give you one figure and you will feel it yourself. What was the impact? The impact was 41 villages, 1400 houses, they were put to fire. It led to the displacement of 50,000 people. It led to the displacement of 50,000 Brus. And where they will go? They will go to the brother community, that is the Riang in Tripura. Getting my point or not? They will go to the brother community. So if we talk about Brus, the Brus is the example of what we call as internally displaced people. What we call as internally displaced people. Brus are the example of what we call as internally displaced people. Means what? That within their own country, these people are displaced. Now let's talk about the government efforts. Now the government have started the efforts for the resettlement of Brus, or their Bru resettlement roadmap. This Bru resettlement roadmap, this is prepared by the government from 2009 onwards only. Initially it was there in 8 phases and it was unsuccessful. Later on, in 2019, government initiated the 9th phase. And in 9th phase, the government said that we will be giving you a package of 435 CR. There would be an additional 4 lakh rupees per family. After 3 years of residence, you will also be getting rupees 5,000 per month. You will also be getting the ration free for 2 years, etc. and some other things. Now you tell me whether it would be a success or failure. Bru resettlement map was there. So what do you think? Whether it would be a success or whether it is going to be a failure? Yes. What do you think? It would be a success or it would be a failure? Say yes or not? Partly. सक्सेस हो जाएगा. हाँ बताओ. आपको एक बंगला मैं खरीद के दे देता हूँ 50,000 रुपए में, तालिबान में रहोगे? बोलो. Say yes or no? Will you reside in Taliban if I buy you a house for 50,000? Say yes or no? Absolutely not. Beta, what about their security? Government was absolutely silent on their security. It failed. उन्होंने कहा, you are giving us that much opportunities, that much you can say finances also, but what about our security? Security you are not guaranteeing. It was a failure. Last year, the government of India in the year 2020 also has come up with a roadmap. Another roadmap. Now this roadmap says the package would be 600 crore. Now you will be getting 4 lakh per family, and that too in 2 years. Earlier it was 3 years. Now along with that, you will be getting a plot of 40 into 30 square feet. You will be getting additional 1.5 lakh for houses. Ration would be free for 2 years. But what's most striking feature of this agreement is that the most striking feature is now they will be resettled in Tripura. Now they will be resettled in Tripura at the new place where they have been residing for more than 20 years. More than 2 decades they have been residing over there. There would be resettled over there. Clear? This is the case with Brew Accord that the government has recently signed with these people. Fine. Now, next is Manipur. Next is Manipur. When it comes to Manipur, Manipur is also known as Scotland of India. Manipur is also known as Scotland of India. Okay. Manipur is known for its hydroelectric potential. But what is the issue with Manipur? What is the issue with Manipur? See, if we go by Manipur, Manipur is like this. Here we are having the valley. Here we are having the valley which is dominated by Meitei tribe. Which is dominated by the Meitei tribe. 65% of the total population is of Meitei tribes. The hills are dominated by Nagas as well as Kuki. The hills are dominated by Nagas and Kukis. 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 Nagas are 18%. Kukis are 15%. Nagas are 18% and Kukis are 15%. What is the issue? The issue is Nagas and Kukis, they are having the land rights. They are having the land rights. Along with the land rights, these people are also enjoying the reservation, which is not given to Meitei people. Meitei people are also not having the land rights, ownership rights, etc. So one discontentment that will lead to the struggle within the tribes. Another part is, as regards the Meitei tribe are concerned, they are either Hindu or they are Muslim. The Muslim component of the Meitei tribe is known as Pangals. They are known as Pangals. As regards Nagas and Kukis are concerned, they are Christian. So there is a sort of communal angle that is also seen in the recent clashes. Dekho, Meiteis are there, Hindus as well as Muslims. First they will fight them among themselves. पहले तो आपस में ही लड़ेंगे. First they will fight among themselves. Okay, on the religious line. Now they will fight with the Christians also. It is not that if they are Christian, they are united, they are fighting with each other also. There is a sense in uniformity as regards the fighting is concerned. They are very uniform. Okay, they are very uniform. Right. So there is a sense of this triangular issue which is majorly responsible for most of the Manipur issues. Along with that, there is one more matter, and that matter is of inner line permit. Manipur has been demanding inner line permit from Government of India from a very long period of time on lines with other states. Now finally it has been granted to them. Okay, it is given to Kukis, Nagas and Kukis, not to the Meitei, which is a more dominant tribe over there. As regards inner line permit is concerned, it is a kind of domestic visa. It is a kind of domestic visa. Now when we talk about this domestic visa, so you have to take permission. You have to take permission. Who? Only the Indians. For Indians, right? Every Indian will have to take the permission to visit that area. You cannot buy land over there. You cannot settle over there. You cannot buy the land over there. You cannot settle over there. This is inner line permit. More of an effort on part of the government to maintain the sanctity of that region. Along with that, there is another permit called protected area permit. This protected area permit is for Britishers. Oh, sorry, not Britishers. I'm sorry, right? Foreigners. It is foreigners, right? Fine. Foreigners. Now, foreigners, they cannot visit without permission. They cannot visit without permission. See, as regards foreigners are concerned, for foreigners it is also available in a number of other states. It is also available in a number of other states, like Uttarakhand is there. For Himachal also there, they have to seek the permission, right? Along with that, you see in Manipur, there is this organization PLA which is active, People's Liberation Army. It works on the lines of Marx and works on the lines of Mao. It is having a sister organization called Pre-Pack. Pre-Pack specifically works on the Mao's lines. Means what? Pre-Pack talks about what? Pre-Pack talks about violence, and Pre-Pack's violence is guided towards Mayangs. Now Mayang is not a community. Mayang is a term which is used over there for outsiders. Remember inner line permit. They are very sensitive to their culture. They are very, better it is on the very same lines only. That's why I said it is following the ideology of Mao. Na? Mao's army was also PLA. Na? Now the point is that they want these outsiders. They consider these outsiders as illegal migrants, and they want these people should be immediately thrown out. The outsiders should immediately be thrown out from them. Okay. Now, last is Tripura. One line for Tripura. If we talk about Tripura, so what you will see in case of Tripura, Tripura is the best example of what we call as demographic re-engineering. Tripura is the best example of what we call as demographic re-engineering. Okay, demographic re-engineering. Okay. Now, when we talk about this demographic re-engineering, means what? The number of immigrants is more than that of the domestic population. That is more than that of the domestic population. That means outsiders are more than the insiders. I'll give you an example. In 1947, 93% of the Tripura population was of tribals. In 1981, 29% of the tribals were left. Means they have been reduced to minority in their own state. This is the biggest problem and the only problem in Tripura. Okay, the only issue in Tripura is outsiders are more than the insider. It led to the formation of a front called TVF. Tripura Violence Front. Their agenda is very clear, like name itself indicates, Tripura Violence Front. Later on, this TVF was changed to TVNF, Tripura Violence Nationalist Front. Now, when we talk about this Tripura Violence Nationalist Front, so what you will see in this case is that these people were involved in the massacre of 300 Hindu Bengalis. They were involved in the massacre of 300 Hindu Bengalis at a place called Mandi Bazar. There is a place called Mandi Bazar in Tripura. Now, later on, government has signed peace accord with them in 1988. As of now, peace is something which is restored over. As of now, peace is the one which is restored over there. Okay? If we talk about rest of the three states, one is Sikkim, another is Meghalaya, and then is Arunachal. They are relatively very peaceful. Okay, so those I'll just cover in that notes part. Now you see one thing, please. That as regards our internal security part is concerned, you see we are having very limited time and the course is very comprehensive because we have to complete the syllabus also on time. So you see what I'll be doing is I'll be providing you certain set of videos. Okay, and I'll ensure that you people have an online access to that videos. I'll be providing you the videos and those videos would be in answer writing session, number one. Second, some current affairs related to the internal security. I'll just discuss that part, the important current affairs related to the internal security part. I hope it's okay with you now, that part. Now this is not last class. We'll be having one more class after that. And in the next class, I'm just telling you roughly what we'll be discussing. We'll be discussing about Armed Forces Special Powers Act. Along with the Armed Forces Special Powers Act, we'll also talk about this UAPA Act. Along with the UAPA Act, we'll also talk about like terrorism and money laundering. Along with the money laundering, we'll talk about the BSF jurisdictional issues these days. We'll talk about the fishermen issue regarding coastal security part, fishermen issue, etc. We'll talk about that issue also. Okay, and some other smaller parts we'll be discussing. If any topic is left, don't worry about that. In that case scenario, I'll just make a video of it and upload it on the portal for you people. Fine, fair enough. Now the point is, these are the major topics that we will be discussing. Armed Forces Special Powers Act, in that only we will be talking about the Jammu and Kashmir, but only the internal part. Again I am saying, not the external part, because it is having an external component that is to be covered in international relations. I'll cover the internal security component, right? Okay. Now, so if still you have any issue, in that case scenario, hopefully I'll provide you my email ID also in the next class in case you have any doubt. Okay, so you can ask the doubts over there on the email ID also. Okay, so this is all we have for this part. Now you can ask your doubts. Okay, you can ask your doubts because we can't start a new topic now. Yes, one by one, please. Yeah, as regards better Tripura outsiders are concerned, these Tripura outsiders are majorly the Bengalis. Okay, and the Bengalis are specifically, they have come from West Bengal. Majorly, they have come from West Bengal, and Tripura is the one which is also suffering the problem of illegal migration on part of the Bangladeshis also. On part of the Bangladeshis also, because of that only there is like there have been a number of movements which have also been like aiming at throwing these illegal migrants outside from like Tripura, right? सर कांटेक्ट नंबर दे दीजिए, हाँ अपनी लाइट जहन्नुम बनवा लो ना। तुमसे बात करूंगा मैं, जिससे बात करने उससे मधुर मधुर बातें करूंगा, तुमसे क्यों करूंगा बताओ? आपसे क्यों करूंगा मैं बातें? अब 2.5 घंटा दे तो दिया आपको अपने जीवन का। व्हाट डू यू वांट? If there is any issues, better you can ask there on the email, or like you have an access to student portal. Na? See, beta, as regards this Arunachal Pradesh and China issue with the McMahon line is concerned, they believe that they don't believe in the sanctity of this McMahon line, because they say that Britishers have signed it with Tibet. They have not signed it with China. So China was not a party to it. As a result, we don't recognize the McMahon line. Okay. And they said that, in fact, it is a part of what we call as South Tibet. Okay. In fact, they said that China is a part, oh sorry, Arunachal is the one which is a part of South Tibet. Beta, McMahon line is a segregation between India and China. In 1962, when we had weak position in Northeast, why China didn't help Nagalim, and also didn't Naga rebel to get the sovereign state? At that time, the differences were already contained as regards our internal issues were concerned by the Honorable Prime Minister of India, Mr. Nehru. When he has already granted the statehood, the efforts were something which were on the way. Efforts were something which were on the way as regards the containing the differences of the Naga rebels was concerned. And as regards China was concerned, so who said China was not supporting? China was already supporting. It was before 1971. Even Pakistan was supporting the Naga rebels. They were training them. They were training them, but somehow we managed to contain them. Okay, because Manipur is having very huge potential as regards the development of tourism is concerned. It is having very high aesthetic sense and a very rich biodiversity is also. Protected area permit is not good for tourism, better, but in the name of tourism, right, there are cultural heritage that is something which need to be protected. Okay, otherwise it will end up in another internal security issue. But sometimes in order to contain these issues, we have to protect that particular area from aggression on part of the aggression, I'm saying, on part of visitation, on part of this as regards the foreigners are concerned. Okay. जैसे अब नागालैंड है, अब नागालैंड में यू कैन नॉट बर्स्ट द क्रैकर्स ओवर देयर. In Nagaland, you cannot burst the cracker, right? If you are going to burst the crackers, in that case scenario, it is just taken against their culture. Now, despite China sharing Arunachal Pradesh. Yes. Because you see, as regards the internal issues are concerned, Arunachal is not having any internal issue. Only the external security component is involved, and that too as regards the role of China is concerned. I hope you are able to differentiate between the two. First is the external security, it's an IR part. Okay, all these Chinese invasion 62, what has been the role of China, what is the Doklam standoff, Chumbi Valley region, and the role of China over there. Okay, so this as regards all these fights are concerned. So they are more or less a part of international relation. They are not a part of internal security. If we are facing any aggression inside Arunachal, in that case scenario, it will form up as a part of the internal security. I hope you remember. So we will discuss internal issues. Let the requisite faculty handle the outside issues. Yeah, as regards Myanmar is concerned, I have already said the border is very porous. So cross-border terrorism, organized crimes, the weapons production, the drug sale, All these factors are the one which are facilitated because of this porous border with the Myanmar. Why the government has not killed any of the extremists? So sorry, this is totally an insane question. Okay, in that case scenario, we are not supposed to answer this as regards our internal security class is concerned. Beta, you are supporting killings in the northeast, huh? How can we, like, as regards killing of the insane, killing of any of the extremist leader, those who are going by the path of the violence in that case scenario, they are the one which are meeting the very same fate as the violence should meet as a part of the retaliatory efforts of the paramilitary forces. No, as see, this is a very good question which you have asked, Shiv Sagar. The issue is that as regards CA is concerned, the one of the major drawback in the CA is that we have not taken the government of Bangladesh into the confidence. Why? Because even if we are going to deport those people back, but what should be the strategy? The Bangladesh should be ready to accept those people. If Bangladesh is not ready to accept the people, those people would be reduced to the concentrate, or they will be concentrated into the number of camps, refugee camps rather. They would also meet the very same face as the Rohingyas and other displaced people are meeting. So this is, yes, this is one or less, more or less on part of the government India, that we are not able to, we have not involved rather Bangladesh into the entire process. That we have to start off with involvement of Bangladesh also into the process, which is certainly missing as regards this CA is concerned, right? Okay, and what is this Arakan army and issues related within it? That I'll have to see, right? I'll just have to take a revision of it and I'll just tell you in the next class. Okay. In fact, I'll just take a note of it somewhere. Okay. Arakan army and what are the issues associated with it. Okay. But as regards the border conflicts are concerned, this Assam-Mizo border conflicts are concerned, that we'll discuss when we'll be talking about this Armed Forces Special Powers Act. Okay, a part of Northeast is the one which is still left. Okay, I have not taken that up. I'll be discussing that internal conflicts over there. Has sixth schedule helped in pacifying the insurgency in the Northeast? How can you say that sixth schedule has played a very important role as regards specifying? Sixth schedule is more of granting them the autonomy, and rather the demand of the sovereignty and has been reduced to state. From state, it has been reduced to the autonomous councils. But that is something which is within the sovereignty, which is under the banner of the sovereignty of the government of India. It is within the banner of the sovereignty of government of India. So autonomy is granted, but sovereignty is not granted. They must abide by the constitutional values as well as by the legal or the de facto authorities. They are given certain special rights and privileges to run their own administration. Okay. I hope now it's clear, right? Autonomy and sovereignty are two different aspects, right? See, as regards dealing with the internal security issues are concerned, there are basically the two approaches that we are following. One is the immediate approach and another is the long-term approach. And that too depends upon area to area. Okay, though it's a very big topic that we'll be seeing in the next class also, but I'll just like to contain your question. Now the point is that as regards the internal security issues and dealing with that is concerned, I've said that there are two approaches. One is immediate approach and another is long-term approach. So in the immediate approach, the possibility is the deployment of the security forces, which we are doing in every internal disturbed area, which is on part of the internal security, whether it has been Kashmir, whether it has been the northeastern states, or whether it has been the Naxal affected area where we are deploying the CPF battalions, etc. But in the long term, we have to persuade via the developmental approach. Whether it has been Kashmir, the number of militancy events in the Kashmir has been reduced to 45% after this Article 370 to a greater extent has been abrogated. Autonomy has been granted at a number of places as regards the northeastern region is concerned, and this has been one of the major reason which is responsible for ensuring the peace in the region. We have signed the peaceful accords with a number of rebel leaders, whether it has been Ulfa, whether it has been the ASU initially, after that also whether it has been the NNC at times. So the development is something which shall be promoted, because if we go by the words of that Robert McNamara, he says that in the modern times security is development and development is security. Without a development you cannot expect the security. I'll give you one example. The youths in the Kashmir, they used to pelt the stones onto the security forces, specifically the misguided youth. They used to pelt the stones onto the security forces. Now, and they were getting the money also for that purposes. Now what the government of India has done, they have brought a number of good schemes such as Himayat schemes, which are providing skill development as well as employment opportunities to the people of Jammu and Kashmir. Now with the provision of such schemes, the youths are the one which are being now engaged in a kind of skillful employment. So any unemployed youth eventually has a tendency to turn into an internal security disorder depending upon the reasons. The government is following the very same approach as regards the Naxal affected areas are also concerned. The government is going for a surrender policy. Simultaneously, there is a rehab policy also. They are also getting the stipends. They are also getting the skills. Accordingly, they can like these skills are the one which can be useful to lead a life of prosperity. So it is less of the security approach, less of this approach on part of the paramilitary forces deployment, more of an approach on part of the you can say the welfare is something which need to be followed by to deal with the internal security issues to a greater extent. There's many religious meetings are also becoming internal security challenges for it. Anything which threatens the national sovereignty, anything that threatens the public order is a matter of internal security, and accordingly they are dealt with the provisions associated with it. So now I think almost all of the doubts are the one which have been taken. So we'll wind up the session over here. Do take very good care of yourself and see you in the very next session where we'll be discussing about these issues. Okay, God bless you. Okay, see you in the next session. Please do take very good care of yourself, and Happy New Year to everyone. Okay, and may God bless you with success, prosperities, and lot of health as well as wealth. Okay, bye bye everyone.